Can I take my mask off? Can I? Oh. Like, now that you know the title of this video, it's a very hard question to answer, isn't it? Like, can I take my mask off? How many times have you heard, or have you said, can I take my mask off? And it's very different when you know what you know, when you know that you're positive for COVID-19, and like, I probably never ask the question again. I'll never come to your house, I'll never come into your space and ask, can I take my mask off? Like, that's just not something that I think I would be able to do. But I know that we're faced with it every day, at home, when you come into space with someone you trust and you know, and it's, can I take my mask off? That question is very, very different now, since you know the title of this video, about my symptoms. And I knew I was positive from the moment I felt those cold chills. From that very moment, I already knew that I was positive for COVID-19. And in that time, hey puppy, I didn't want to acknowledge it. Like, no, winter's coming, maybe getting a cold, or maybe you're fluish, like it's that time of the year now, it's winter, it's flu season. But I knew. And the next couple of days was just a blur. I want to say 3 days was a blur. Like, I went to bed Sunday and I woke up and it was Wednesday. Like, in between all of that, I know I took my meds, I went to the loo, but it was just a blur. And what followed was, well, during the course of that, and sort of towards the latter part of that week, it was just pain, like an uncomfortable pain in your chest, your bones, my ankles. It was just painful. Laying down, I suppose, was the hardest. Like, I didn't really struggle with breathing, but when I lay down, I really struggled. Like, there was so much pressure on my chest, like you're laying on a staircase with one step just kind of just in your ribs like that, you know, or like someone strapped like a rope or a harness around your chest and just tied it to the back of a Hilux bucket, and the bucket just went, you know, like, so that was the first week or the first few days. And I want to speak about the meds. So I took everything that I have in the house, and I had meds delivered, the pharmacy delivered meds to my house, and flu meds, sinus meds, effervescents, painkillers, Panados. But the thing that stood out to me the most was the aspirin, because the knowledge of the virus is, or what we know right now from what we've gleaned from the internet and from news and others, is that it causes your blood to clot. So with, on top of all of the meds, I also took aspirin, and I took lots of it. I took 2 of it like 3 times a day. I took 2 of it 3 times a day, for that entire week. So I think that really helped me, or at least I believe it really, really helped me. It is really cold here. You want to go finish this at home? Okay, so let me say this. So the difficulty with being positive is that you have more responsibility as someone that is tested positive, that has gone for the test. You have more responsibility than others, because they don't know much about the virus. So the only thing they have right now is that you are infectious. They don't have the information that once the virus dies in your body, even though you test positive, you're not infectious because the virus is dead. So you only get that information after consultation with a doctor. So I almost can't blame people for treating you differently. But if you don't want to be treated differently, then the responsibility lies on you. You know, you got to not only just educate, but I mean just prevent things from happening simply by just, like, for example, if you need to return back to work, you know, for the ease of everyone else at work, like, can I take my mask off, or something you'll never say again? And then I suppose, like, just returning to work, you would need a certificate stating that, oh, there goes it. I think it's just too windy here. We'll finish the segment at home. Yeah, so we'll head back to the studio and let's finish it there. It's too windy. It was too windy for the drone. It's too windy for me. So let's go finish the segment back at home. I think the the second wave of really dealing with being positive is the mental battle that you have to face. Like I said, you have a responsibility to protect everyone around you, and you have a responsibility to inform those around you, but just mental strength is something that you're going to need on this journey, because people can't help it. They're going to be treating you differently, and they can't help it because maybe on their part they haven't come into contact with anyone close that has it, or they haven't experienced it, and I don't want to make light of it. I don't want to make it as if because there's such a lot that's going on in the world right now, and it's very difficult for a lot of people, and very different for a lot of people, because some are not allowed to see their family that's in ICU, and some are experiencing life on a different level. Like their babies are being born, but the father's not allowed in the hospital, for obvious reasons. So it's very different for everyone. This is just my story of my experience, being tested positive, going through the various phases of it, not as severe as others maybe, but and then coming on to the back end of it, where you're having to deal with what I call the second wave of how people treat you now that they know that you are positive. So the responsibility really lies on you. You have to make sure that, are you okay to go out? Are you okay? Like, are you sure you're not going to put anyone else at risk? And that in itself, it's not easy, because there's, I need to get back to work, there's I need to start living again, and then there's just you being responsible. Like, what, I'm clear, I've been clear for 14 days, I'm now ready to go and face the world again. So it's very, very challenging for a lot of different reasons, and that's just things that you need to consider. I don't know, I'm challenged with it as it is. I feel that a lot more needs to be done, a lot more needs to, we need to educate a lot more, because going through the actual physical pains or the symptoms or the discomfort is a challenge on its own, and then going through, you're almost ostracized by people, to that extent that if it's not handled properly, it could be really, really difficult, really difficult. So my advice to someone that has tested positive and is returning, and look how uncomfortable the words are. You are returning back to society as if you were on an island somewhere while you were in quarantine, and kind of makes you feel like an outsider when you phrase it like that. When you phrase it like that, it makes you feel like you're an outsider, and almost that you had to go and live on an island, and the community will decide when you can come back. That's how it feels, that's how it sounds. Like, what other words is there that one could use? Like, I don't know, but for me, just going through it day by day, this is my experience. I will do everything possible to make sure that I don't put other people at risk, but I ask everyone to, whatever knowledge is available right now, whatever findings there are, whatever experiences there is, share those experiences so that people can understand. Like, for those that like, it's amongst us. At some point or the other, you are going to either encounter it yourself, or you're going to encounter it indirectly. Someone close to you is going to have it, and arming yourself with knowledge or information is the most important thing that you need to do right now. That's the most important thing you need to do, is just get as much information and just arm yourself with it. So one way or the other, you know how to best treat it depending on your symptoms, and you know how to treat those that has been through it. So this is my story. I know everyone's story is different, So this is my story, and I felt I wanted to share it with you.